All right, let's talk about studying. It's about to change forever. Seriously, what if you had a partner, right? One that could handle all the boring grunt work of memorization, freeing up your brain to do the cool stuff, like think, create, and solve real problems. Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. A much, much smarter way to learn with AI. You ever have one of those moments you're staring at a mountain of textbooks and you can just feel your brain shutting down? That feeling of total information overload, where you read the same page like 3 times and absolutely nothing sticks? Yeah, there's a very real reason for that. So that feeling, it's not just you, I promise. It's a real thing, and science actually has a name for it. It's called cognitive load. Basically, it's what happens when your brain's working memory is just pushed to its absolute limit. And guess what? It turns out a lot of our old school study methods are pretty much designed to max it out. But what if you had a partner that could help you manage all that? Something that could do the heavy lifting of just raw information so that your brain is free to do what it does best, think, create, connect all the dots. Well, that partner is here. Okay, so let's really put a name to this problem, because once you can name the enemy, you're already halfway to defeating it, right? We're talking about the cognitive overload problem. Okay, think of it this way. Cognitive load is kind of like your brain's Wi-Fi signal. When you're trying to remember dates and to understand a new theory and take notes all at the same time, you're just using up all your bandwidth. The signal drops. That's exactly why you can read the same page 3 times and still have no clue what it said. And this is where we get to the solution. And listen, they're not talking about replacing your brain here. Not at all. We're talking about giving it a superpower. This idea has a name. It's called augmented intelligence. The whole point isn't to have AI think for you. It's to help you think better. You are always, always in the driver's seat. The AI, it's just your super high-tech co-pilot. A really great way to think about this is it's like a pair of glasses. Glasses don't replace your eyes, right? They just make your natural vision sharper. Well, AI does the exact same thing for your mind. It helps you focus on what's really important and see patterns you might have missed otherwise. And here's another, maybe more epic way to see this partnership. Think about it like this. You are the master archer. You bring the skill, the focus, the critical thinking. The AI, that's your divine weapon. It has a perfect memory, it's got lightning fast speed, but it's totally useless without your aim. Together, yeah, you're pretty much unstoppable. So, how does this actually work in practice? Let's break it down. Think of learning like a pyramid. The AI is a beast at handling the bottom layers, just remembering facts, summarizing concepts, the grunt work. By handing off those tasks, you free up all this mental energy to work at the top of the pyramid. And that's where the good stuff is. Applying knowledge, analyzing it, evaluating, creating new ideas. That's where the real learning happens. All right, so how do these new AI tools actually work? I mean, how are they any different from just Googling something? Well, the technology behind them is a total game changer. We all know the Google Wikipedia headache, right? You search for one simple topic and you are immediately buried under millions of chaotic results. It's awful. The new way is totally different. It's called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or just RAG for short. And the key difference is this. Instead of searching the entire messy internet, it searches only the material you give it. So here's how RAG works in 2 super simple steps. First, there's retrieval. When you ask a question, the AI does not search the whole internet. Nope. It searches only the documents you uploaded, your textbook chapter, your lecture notes, whatever. Then comes step 2, generation. It creates an answer based exclusively on the information it just found in your stuff. And this 2-step process, this is the key to everything. Because the AI is basically forbidden from using its huge general knowledge base. It can't hallucinate or just make stuff up. It's locked into your source material, which means every single answer is going to be directly relevant to your course. That's huge. Okay, theory is great and all, but let's get practical. Right now, how do you actually use this to become a better student, like starting today? Here's your playbook. It all starts with asking smart questions, or prompts, as they're called. So instead of just asking a generic question like, what is Dharma? You can ask the AI to simplify it. Explain it like you're 10. And, this kind of prompt is really powerful because it forces you to first admit what you don't understand. And that's a huge step in learning anything. But you can take it even further. This is kind of an advanced move. It's called Socratic prompting. Here, you're not asking for answers anymore. You're flipping the script. You're asking the AI to become your personal tutor and ask you questions. It guides you to discover the conclusions all on your own. This, right here, is where the really deep learning happens. You can also turn the AI into your own personal study material factory. I mean it. Command it to create study guides, make you flashcards, generate practice quizzes with answer keys, the whole shebang. What this does is let you spend your precious study time on active recall, which is the scientifically proven best way to learn, pulling information out of your brain, instead of wasting hours just making the materials in the first place. Okay, but before you dive in and start using all this, there is one critical rule. And I'm serious, this is probably the most important part of this whole thing, so please listen closely. Always, always remember this. You are the pilot. The AI is your co-pilot. Yeah, it's an incredibly powerful co-pilot that can run calculations and manage systems faster than you ever could. But you are the one making the critical decisions. You're the one checking the instruments and actually flying the plane. You are always in command. So let's be crystal clear about the danger here. Plagiarism. It's simple. It's presenting someone else's work, or in this case, a machine's work, as your own. When you just copy and paste an AI's output, you literally haven't learned anything. You've just completely bypassed the entire learning process, and that is a major, serious breach of academic integrity. So the line between using this as a tool and just plain cheating is actually pretty simple. Using AI to brainstorm, say, 5 different thesis statements for your paper, that's a brilliant use of a tool. But copying its output, changing a few words around, and submitting that as your own work, that's cheating, plain and simple. The goal is always to let the tools support your thinking, never ever to replace it. Look, when you master this new partnership, you're doing so much more than just preparing for your next exam. You're preparing for the world as it's going to be, a world where this kind of human-AI collaboration is an absolutely essential skill. So always remember this. What you're doing is bigger than just your next test. The skills you're building right now, critical thinking, asking smart questions, using AI ethically, these are the exact skills that are going to define the best jobs of the future. You're not just learning history or biology, you're learning how to be a pilot in a world that's going to be full of co-pilots. So, I'll leave you with this final question to chew on. If a tool can now handle the tedious work of just remembering and organizing facts, what incredible new heights will your own creativity and your own critical thinking reach? With all that freed up brain power, what problems will you solve? What will you create? The possibilities, well, they're really just beginning.